Miranda. Thank you. I'll be sort of your moderator today, but actually I'm doing no talking. All I did was sort of to have fun and have Lin Manuel. I want to start with a question for everyone in the Heights cast. I want each of them to introduce themselves, but actually talk about when they joined the In the Heights project, so that we have a sense of when people were jumping into this wonderful project called In the Heights. So we're going to start with Chris Jackson.
I like watching Lin watch me talk about meeting him. I love you. We're friends.
As long as you got a job, you got a job.
Hi, everybody. I met Lin in December of 2002, which is a long time ago. Fully recognizing that some of you in this room weren't born when that happened. Wow. In the basement of the drama bookshop. Yeah. He was downstairs playing something on the piano, and Thomas Cale was there, and Bill Sherman was there, and we met, and he handed me some lyrics. He was like, "Hey, learn this rap." That's a good Lin, isn't it? So I went up the octave. So I learned this rap with him, and I was like, oh wow, there's somebody writing a musical or rapping it. I'm there. Yeah. And then we did a show. And then we did another show.
Wait a minute, slow down. Several things happened from reading to stage reading. Jesus Christ, it was a lot.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I met my wife doing.
Who introduced you to your wife?
What?
Who was Cupid in that situation?
Everybody in the Heights. Starting with this one right here. She's like, ooh, I think you like her. I'm gonna help you. And she did. Manny Gonzalez plays it.
I started with In the Heights in 2004 when I got a call from my agent that said there was a new show being written by Latinos, and I was starring Latinos, and they were interested in me coming into to meet with them in the basement of the drama bookshop. So I met with I think Alex and Tommy were in the basement, and so I met with them and I sang through some stuff, and then I did the reading right after that, and I remember sitting around the table, and I was sitting by Andrea, and we all had our books open, and Lin said, I know you guys don't know any of the music, so I'm just gonna sing it all. So he started to sing, and it was Let's Up on Washington Heights, and it was like electric in the room, and I had never seen anybody like Lin, and never met anybody like the creative team, and I knew that I wanted to be a part of it forever.
Do you remember what the Benny Nina song was at that point? In 2004? Was it Long Way Around, or was it, there's like 50 versions of the Benny Nina song.
There's a lot of songs.
That was
a lot of versions of a lot of
versions. When you were coming home, when you were driving her home from the airport.
Oh yeah!
Yes.
I remember though.
I have 4 seats, I don't remember anything.
I don't remember, but I do remember at the reading, I was like, because we just did the first act, and then it said they're gonna kiss, and I was like, so Chris, are you gonna kiss me, or like what? Because I need to know, and he was like, no, that's all right. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, because I just wanted to know, whatever.
I remember now. It was
Do you mind if I ride by your side? That was the song.
Do you mind?
Yeah. The view next to you. Something like that.
When I do next to you.
It's so much better when she sings it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, keep thinking on that. I'm going to keep coming back to you with Cut Nina songs.
Okay.
Priscilla Lopez.
Hello. Am I on?
Yes.
Oh, well, I had just finished doing a play off Broadway called Beauty of the Father. And there was this little unknown actor, Pedro Pascal, who was in it. And so gorgeous he is. And so the show closed, and we were having lunch downtown, and he said, listen, I want you to come to my friend's house. And he had some friend on the West Side Highway, one of those glass places up there. And I went to this apartment, and we went out into the little balcony or the rooftop, and there was this blonde woman in the corner, and she approached me and she said, hi, my name is Jill Furman, and I'm doing this show called In the Heights, and I was wondering if you would be interested in reading the script. I went, yeah. But I respond to that to any job. But anyway, so I read the script, and she said, I'll send it to you. So then somehow I got it. I guess she sent it. I don't know how I got it. But she sent it, and she sent a CD. So now I'm in the car picking up my daughter from school or whatever, and I said, look, I got the CD. We put in the CD, and the music starts, and I'm driving, and there was an accident. She grabs the wheel. She goes, Ma, you got to do this show. You got to do this show. And I went, why, you really like it? She said, yeah, it's really great. And so we listened to it some more and some more, and before I knew it, I was in love hearing this music. So the next thing, I guess I must have gotten in touch with her. I'm now going down to, I think it was at Bernie Telsey's, maybe, that's where I met you. And this one comes out. With Alex Lacamoire. Now these are two beautiful, Latino men with big black eyes, and one has this straight hair and one has this curly hair. So it was the yin and the yang. And I said, this is for me. And we all lived happily ever after. It's your turn, honey.
Okay, so it was 2005, and I was trying to throw in the towel, quit the business, and I took a job as a general manager in a restaurant on 10th Avenue in Manhattan. And a friend from college had written a musical and was badgering me to do this reading of it, and I thought, cool, that'll be the last thing I do, and then I'm just gonna, figure something else out. And so at the very first rehearsal, there's an actress in the room, and she's staring at me. She's the only one I don't know in the room. And the next day, I get a message on my beeper voicemail, because that's the days of beepers and voicemails.
It's a long story, kids.
Dark ages. It's her, and she says on the message that she's part of this the development of this new musical. Would I be interested? They're auditioning for a role. Would I be interested in sort of meeting with her and talking about it? And so I actually thought that's a sign. So I invited her to the restaurant, and after my shift, we sat at a table. She handed me the script. And she also handed me a CD, and I popped it into my CD player.
I believe it's a long story. It's the whole thing.
Just dark ages, guys. And I listened to the first song, and it was the opening number of In the Heights, and it was this guy rapping, and yes, indeed. And I heard it and thought, yeah, let me take this home and read it and listen to it, and let's talk tomorrow. And that was it. I went home, I listened to the entire recording of that CD, I read through the script, I saw it was like I was looking at people who were just my family. Authenticity, integrity, hard-working, family. And there was no drugs and no crime and no caricatures. There was dignity in this piece, and the music was so damn good. And that's it. I said yes. And
But you didn't audition for Usnavi, you auditioned for Lincoln.
yes, it actually was a character that Nina had a brother.
I had a brother.
And his name was Lincoln, and I auditioned for Lincoln in the room with the entire dream team. And
Escape.
yes,
That's a good song.
and then that's how it happened. And then the Usnavi thing is a whole other story.
Janet.
So I also joined in the Heights in 2002 in the basement of the Drama Bookshop. I had just moved up from Miami. It was my first audition in the city, ever. And I walked down the steps of the Drama Bookshop, and there was Lin behind the piano plunking chords, and he's like, "Come sit next to me," and he's like, "Sing this thing." And I was like, "Okay." And that was basically it. I mean,
Man, I was running auditions?
you were running auditions. That was a
Long time ago.
long time ago. So yeah, I was lucky enough to be with the project since that early on and see very many incarnations of it. Always beautiful and joyful and heartfelt, and the things that you all got to see eventually.
Good!
Hello. I don't really remember reading the scripts or hearing the CD. I'm pretty sure I got one, but I think I was actually coming off tour, and I think that
Who are you touring with, Seth?
I don't remember it.
I don't know who you was touring with.
That
He was on the road with Madonna.
was
Like when she was Madonna. Before she was losing Twitter battles with Link.
yes, I just let it happen and I watched it all. No, I think it was actually for J-Lo, who didn't remember me when she came to Hamilton. This is getting so good. Anyways, back to the loving story of What's Home. No, so I know I got a script, I know I got a CD. I don't think I really listened to it. And actually, I did listen to the first one. I was like, this is going to be cool. And I remember coming into rehearsal. I do remember the first day of rehearsal. I forgot I was wearing my gold grills, my tops and my bottoms, and apparently I scared Janet.
I was like, "What happened to our show?"
I was living in the Bronx, so what are you gonna do? But I do remember coming in the first day of rehearsal for, when we were at 37 Arts, and just seeing the diversity in the room, and just like feeling the vibes, and I was like, this is gonna be cool. And then I spoke, and I forgot I had my grills, and I scared like everybody else. But it was just amazing, and to me, Off-Broadway was still one of my favorite times because it was just we were all in the same dressing rooms. All the guys and all the girls, all the smells, all the emotions. And as crazy as that sounds, it was to this day, one of the most beautiful times I had in my life. So, yeah. Kiara.
So, Kiara, it's the other side of the creative team. Kiara.
I wrote the book. I'm from Philly. I came to New York Go Eagles. I came to New York in August 2004. And in September 2004, I had a reading of a play I wrote that was set in North Philly, which is kind of like the equivalent of Washington Heights. And the producer heard it and said, "Can I pass your number along to someone?" And then a few weeks later, I had a script in my hand that was like 120 pages, script that you had written, and a CD, and it was awesome, and I loved it. And they were like, "Will you write the script?" I was like, but what are you asking me to do? I don't understand. So basically, Lin had been working on this for years, and every time the producers gave him story notes, he would write a new song, but they didn't. But he wanted to save his operatic instincts for Hamilton, so they wanted a scriptwriter who wanted to dig into some playwriting stuff. And so we did that. We met at a diner,
The Market Cafe.
the Market Cafe. We talked about our dad's work in the community. We talked about our abuelas and the oral histories of the island that were passed on to us that way. We talked about generations going to college and all that stuff. And I was like, I want to do this. And I thought I could bring a little flavor of my own, just trying to get in like as much female Latino strength as possible. So I was really psyched about that. It was already there, but I wanted to amp it up and then fast forward to, and then I was temping at the time, and Tommy Kail would send me, I would like send them scenes, like, well, here's an idea I have, and then Tommy Kail would send it back to me, every like syllable with ideas and responses and edits, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really overwhelming. And so I quit my temp job. My husband was like, this sounds for real, you should just do this, spend more time on this. So I did it, and then fast forward to Seth's Grills, and they made this really cool like sound. Olga.
First of all, I just want to say how happy I am to be here with this one and this amazing, amazing cast, and all of you that have supported us through the years and with this amazing project. I first started, I think, Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong, because I can't remember, but I think I started at the MTC workshop.
That's right.
And
You were playing Camila.
at that point I was playing Camila, the mother, and you were my son, and you guys were brother and sister, right? Yeah, for that workshop. And my agent called me and he said, it's the show, they're rapping, it's these kids, they're rappers, they're rapping. I don't know, and I said, rapping? What do you mean rapping? And so anyway, but then I heard the music and I fell in love with the whole story and the music, and and then after a while, I guess they were looking for an older lady, right? That you couldn't find an older lady to play Abuela Claudia. And so I auditioned.
You couldn't find anyone who could sing the song, period. It's a mother effer of a song. Like breath control wise, just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
So,
Calor, it's not simple.
No, it's not simple. Well, for me, with that song, it cost me because it would get me in touch with my roots, my family, and my Cuban roots. And so it was very emotional. It was very hard for me to sing it every night. Not so much technically, but emotionally, it was tough to do. But I did it it was very passionate for me, and I was just happy to do it every night. And I have to thank you for it. I don't know if that answers the question.
Karen, oh,
Talk about the first time that I came in contact with In the Heights, because I think it's boring.
Well, we want to hear the boring, and then we're getting excited.
But
how about that first audition, Karen?
It's the audition, because I think the audition is really, because when I heard the music, I was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome, but I'm like, who's this dude? Like, who's letting this dude do this? And like, in my mind, I had made him up to be like something that he was a superhero in my head, right? So then I walk into the first audition for 37 Arts, and it's a dance call. So I'm already mad.
It's the club number.
It's the club number, and they pair us up, and I get stuck with this guy, and they're like, okay, so this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like a dance improv. You're gonna like go to this club, and like all the guys wanna dance with you, but you're like the best dancer, and so like let's just see how it goes. And so I'm like, all right. So we start dancing. I'm probably dancing like all in the one. Like it's a mess. It's a horrible, horrible mess. And so like I'm trying to get into it. And my dance partner is just like acting nervous. And I was like, yo, this dude's gonna cost me this job. So I ditched the guy. And I started dancing with the best dancer, which was Luis Salgado, I think. Was it?
It was Luis.
It was like, yeah, it was someone who was killing it. And I was like, later, dude. I started dancing with him. They're like, no, stop. You want to dance with this guy. And I was like, that guy? nervous, and he's like, and they're like, yeah, that's the guy. And I was like, all right, I'll make it work. That tells you everything about our relationship, right there. The end.
Lin Manuel, when do you come in contact with this show?
Okay, I will give you the very short version. I was at Wesleyan University. I was a sophomore in college. I wanted a life in musical theater, and I knew I couldn't dance well enough to play Bernardo or Paul. So that's it. That's the ball game. So I started writing sort of my dream show, and I think the reason I started writing it was one, it was sort of the first Latin pop boom. This is pre-Despacito. This is Ricky Martin, and this is Mark Anthony and Enrique Iglesias. It was funny for me to see the mainstream world embracing people I had been listening to my entire life. I've been listening to Mark Anthony my entire life. I've been listening to Ricky Martin since Menudo. And I've been writing musicals, but I never brought anything from home into that. And I think a big part of growing up is sort of bringing all of yourself into a space, not just the part that relates to the people in the room. And so I put everything into that first draft. It was an 80-minute, one-act version of In the Heights, and it was hip-hop, and it was Latin music, and it was show tunes, so it was sort of this weird mix of Rent and a Mark Anthony album, and like a Black Sheep album. And it was a huge hit at Wesleyan because I couldn't find enough Latinos in the theater department. So I had to do this big call, and so, again, theater kids, you'll relate to this, everyone came to the show because everyone had a friend in the show. Alfie from the gospel choir is in the show, we gotta go. So it expanded beyond sort of the 12 people who were doing theater every weekend. And so that was a huge success. I met Neil Stewart and John Buffalo Mailer, who were seniors, who saw the show, and they're like, kid, we're starting a company when we graduate. Like, we want to produce your show. I'm like, okay. I'm going to be playing Ultimate. I'm 19, what are you talking about? And they were as good as their word, and they started Backhouse Productions in the basement of the Drama Bookshop with Tommy Kail and Anthony Frisala Supreme Veneziale. And so that's where it started. I met Tommy. We started the conversation that is still happening even today, and he is still circling my notes and having an idea for every word on the page. And little by little this came together. I mean, you are seeing a